Hello, hello. Hello, 111. I hope that we are live and I hope that you can see me. I'm sitting in a blanket late at night. Maybe what? 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know. Anyway, let's have a closer look at the display and at the things that are already happening in the sky and how they are going to influence us sooner or later, because as I said in many of my videos, around 90% of population is going to get affected by what we have in the sky. So this is the setup for the mid August 2025, and I was speaking about this big construct in the sky for all of my videos, because this is what is going on right now in the sky. So the main players are Saturn and Neptune that are going to have this major conjunction. 1 second, I have to set myself properly here. So that are going to meet in the first degree of Aries in 2026 in February. But in the same time, they are receiving extreme amount of energy from Pluto and Uranus to the same point. And sometimes, like we had in August last year, we had Mars opposing this construct, creating this massive kite formation. The exact kite formation is not going to materialize next year, as far as I remember, but similar constructs will. And this kite formation is very strong, and what it does, it technically speaking affects each and every end of each and every sign and beginning of the new one. Especially there are two more important points that would be a conjunction between Scorpio and Libra, so somewhere here, and the other one would be the beginning of Virgo and of Leo. What is happening in these points? We have these major fingers of God created by Pluto and Saturn and Neptune, and then the other one by Saturn and by Uranus and Saturn and Neptune affecting this beginning of Scorpio. So if your country, if your company has any important points of your horoscope in any of these first degrees of zodiac sign, there are going to be some interaction, and this interaction is going to be quite interesting and heavy and bringing lots of changes to your life or life of your country, your friends. So basically speaking, I did say that I would estimate more or less around 90% of population of the planet Earth is going to feel this configuration somehow, sometimes extremely positive. In the other times, maybe not as positive, maybe much more challenging. But I do say 90% of the population of the planet is going to feel these interactions. And because there is more and more going on in the world, I decided to make this very short. We'll see how short it is. I don't really think it's gonna be short, but I will try to pack as much predictions as possible regarding the countries that I've already had a look at. So I did explain the construct that we have in the sky right now, and let's have a look at all the horoscopes that I did before. So we are going to focus only on transits today because there is so many horoscopes to speak about. As far as I remember, these fingers of God that are going to happen, 1 second, I will try to just move it to the beginning of January, because regarding both Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance, there is going to be strong interaction from one of the yards on their ascendant and Mars and Venus, as far as I remember, of both of them. So you can see here that we are having this I will move myself here and become really small. So this point of Mr. Trump's horoscope is going to get affected by this yacht created by Neptune and Saturn and Pluto. And as I said before, this is a challenge regarding his public view and his the ways he fights unseen wars and the way he approaches his masculinity, approaches his mysticism. Well, a bit complicated, but mostly his public image and hidden enemies are going to show up. So this is horoscope number 1, and we have the very same construct in horoscope number 2. That and let me just see what is going to happen during this big conjunction that is going to happen around the 20th of February. So this this yacht is still going to be active. Pluto is going to affect Mars, and this conjunction is going to affect his ascendant. So I would say that his public image somehow is going to be quite that's gonna be quite challenging for him. In the same time, more or less, he's going to receive a square from Uranus to his Mars in his mystic sector. The sector number 12 is the mysticism, his hidden enemies, and things that we don't understand, ruled by the god of the underworld. So difficult times for Mr. Trump anyways. And the similar construct is going to affect Mr. J.D. Vance as well. So let's go to January 2026 and let's see. You can see similar yacht affecting his public image, and then he has his femininity, the god of beauty and diplomacy, Venus, in his 12th mystical sector that is ruled by Cancer. So that would be a bit more, so they both would be a bit family orientated, or maybe the whole sector would be family orientated regarding their deepest hidden beliefs. So that is going to get affected in both of these horoscopes next year. And let's see how the conjunction of Saturn Neptune is going to work for two of them. So Mr. Vance is not going to have any interactions from this conjunction exactly, but what is Pluto is gonna try in his north node. Uranus is gonna square his both his ascendant and descendant, so he's going to have T square in here. That means that both his public image and his family life can be unexpected, simply chaos and difficult situations that pop up out of nowhere. And so more or less that's it for Mr. Vance. But the striking thing is that both Mr. Trump and Vance will have very similar setup regarding their ascendant, so their public image, how people see them, how other individuals and groups and countries see them. So that is going to be early next year. I did have sort of a, let's say, precognition or vision regarding Panama country as such, because Pluto, the god of underworld, Hades, is approaching a very important point in the horoscope of Panama, Saturn. So that would be government, the rules, the education, in a way, limitations of that country in the sector of health, that is ruled by Capricorn in this horoscope. So that would be bones and structures that are rigid, so like governments and organizations, and that is going to get affected next year by not only Pluto, but you have to remember that Pluto is one player. In the same time, technically speaking, this point and around is going to receive quite harmonious, if you can say that conjunction of Neptune and Saturn could send harmonious energies to this very point later that year. But at the in the mid-January, mid-second week of January, you can see that Pluto and then Moon, Venus, Sun, Mercury and Mars are going to pass this point in a very short period of time, in a matter of a week, let's say. So I would expect lots of interactions regarding this very point in horoscope. In the same time, you have to notice that this conjunction and Uranus are creating a yard affecting Mercury and Ceres that are in the third sector of communication that is ruled by Venus in this horoscope, the goddess of balance and beauty and diplomacy, and there is going to be strong interaction from these 2 points in the horoscope, and they are going to be difficult. And you have to remember that, as I said, this very point, the beginning of Scorpio, end of Libra, is going to get this special, very difficult energy. So regarding Panama, that's gonna be related to communication, so they can have lots of that's Panama Canal. Fuck, I'm sorry. Communication problems, and I did have a vision that there is some sort of, I don't remember, I think it was February this year, so that was like 9-10 months ago, that there is going to be some sort of problems in Panama. And Panama is, that's the whole purpose of the country, is to run the canal, the Panama Canal. So communication is going to receive lots of challenges, and this is non-harmonious energy. If you want to solve it, you look for the answer on the other side of the horoscope. So you polarize it here in the sector of development and growth and some sort of education as well. So I would say that if Panama did not do the lesson and did not improve, develop, educate itself regarding communication, whatever it's finances or communication as the Panama Canal, they might be in trouble. But even though if they are in trouble and if there's a problem with communication in Panama Canal, they should look for the answer in widely understood development. So whether maybe they should change something, they should develop their ideas for communication and keep doing that. This is the answer for this point. And in the same time, you can see that Jupiter is making that's a short transit. It's not so long. It's just maybe a couple of weeks, but it's making a quincunx to this sector that is going to receive this conjunction of these planets. So that would mean that there might be some elevation between Panama and its partners. So there might be problem with partners as well in the same time. And this is January 2026. And let's see how the conjunction Saturn Neptune is going to look like. So sector of communication in Panama is going to receive this yard, even though it's a bit open, because Uranus from Taurus, so from the career and financial sector, will send a non-harmonious energy to Panama's Mercury. So that's communication. In communication sector ruled by beauty and grace and diplomacy. And on the other side, there is non-harmonious energy of dissolving the borders and then creating new borders, sending non-harmonious energy to the planet responsible for 1000 different tiny things that is ruled by beauty and diplomacy. And in the same time, this big conjunction is going to make a square to Panama's Mars. And that would indicate in the sector of productivity and offspring and creation that is ruled by Sagittarius in this way, in this horoscope. So that could indicate some tensions as well. that Panama is interesting. From the very first point of view, I did have some sort of a vision regarding Panama and problems with in the country. The horoscope says this is the main player, Pluto, destroying whatever is not necessary in the sector of health and associated with the government in the same time in Panama. So I would expect that Panama can switch, the way Panama operates as country can be destroyed and will make room for something better and more efficient. We'll see how it goes, because this Pluto is going to affect this point of partnerships later. That's gonna be in 3 or 5 years, maybe 2 years, but yes. So that's Panama, and I'm really wondering, because this is first time I publicly spoke about my precognitions that I get from time to time, and that was Panama, and I had it ages ago. You can get back to one of my old videos. Okay, we'll leave Panama and let's have a look at Canada. And I'm just looking at let's make an exception and let's go to progress chart of Panama in the same time. And okay, we have Venus, and that is approaching the point of partnerships, whether it's girlfriend, boyfriend in Panama's horoscope. And we have Sun 13, 16, 13 approaching Jupiter of Panama. So these are strong interactions as well. Oh, how far is your 2932 and Mars is 2959? It's not yet, it's years away. And but progress, let's see when it's gonna happen. When progressed moon is here, and that's 31. It's far away, but let's have a look at Sun and Venus. Sun is going to pass Panama's Jupiter in January 2026 as well. That's interesting. And then we'll have Venus affecting the point of partnerships of Panama, and that is going to happen more or less on summer 2026 in the northern hemisphere. 27th of July is an interesting day as well. Yeah. Panama, expect interesting times ahead of you. And I will show the 27th of July, 27th July 2026. That is interesting timing as well, because in the same time we'll have this, that's a short but quite energetic day as well, because we'll have moon conjuncting, transiting Pluto, and transiting Sun, transiting Jupiter. So, but this is not playing within the chart of Panama as such, but it is making but then you have Mars on the blue. Yes, so that would be interesting days for everyone. 29th of June, July 2026. Anyway, in my less than humble opinion, not only horoscope but vision as well, says Panama can expect elevated amount of energy in early next year, and that can be health of the government itself might be destroyed and rebuilt from scratch, and the communication sector and partnership sector are going to get affected. Let's have a look at Canada right now. As I said before, I don't really feel this actual horoscope for Canada. because usually when we have conjunction of Sun and Uranus, that would give us brilliance and something totally different. And in Canada's case, that would be a very unexpected origin of the country and the way it is run. And in my lesson, it's not like. But then again, I checked it with the trackers protest, and it seemed to be working as well. But anyway, let's see how this big construct that's in the sky going to affect Canada, if it's going to affect Canada anyway. So we look for planets and placements in the first degrees of zodiac signs or late degrees of zodiac signs, and there isn't too many in Canada, just Mars, so it won't get affected directly for a number of months. Pluto is going to affect Canada somehow, so there's going to be a reverse yod onto this finger, a reverse finger of God onto this sector of Canada, so that would be sector of career, and that can send non-harmonious energies for the roots of Canada, where Canada is coming from, and from the productivity in the country. And so that would be late January 2026. But as I said, as Canada does not really have exact placements in the first degrees of zodiac signs, this conjunction though will affect a bit the emotions that are in the sector of communication run by the by Gemini, so by God of Mercury, responsible for communication anyways. So I would expect some sort of very emotional moments for Canadians regarding communication. How do they communicate? How the communication is received, whether it's blocked or not, whether it is dissolved, the meaning of communication, or not. So that would be the point that is going to get affected, and that's even before the conjunction actually happens. There might be some sort of pressure to limit the communication of Canadians, looking at the horoscope, yeah. But then later, when Pluto starts to make exact quincunx to the point of origin, to the roots of Canada, and Uranus and Sun, that can be disruptive to the functioning of this nation. But that's gonna happen in the late spring, probably for the first time, maybe even in the summer. But there is opposition of transiting Pluto to planet responsible for communication that is run in the sector of the roots of Canada. So again, that would be a triggering point regarding how the roots of Canada are being communicated, and maybe they will need readjustment, so maybe they will be changed the way they work. And quincunx to Mars would indicate that there might be some sort of aggression, but that would be spring 2026. But then again, and at certain point, that would be March 2026, when actually Mars will be affected by a finger of God made by Saturn, Sun, and Pluto in the sector of productivity. So there might be some sort of aggression fueled by the deepest beliefs of Canadians, and then again by the careers of Canadians that like to be stable and quiet and within the limits, because the sector in Canadian horoscope is ruled by Saturn. So it seems that Canadians like to be within the structure. So that structure might be forced to be cracked and changed as well, and it can fuel some sort of aggression in Canada. So these are the strongest interactions that I'm getting for Canada. Let's go to another horoscope because there's so many of them. Okay, USA is going to receive, that would be February 2026. So this is a very important point in the American horoscope, because we had, with a similar setup, we had civil war, but we just had Neptune aspecting this very point, while I think Uranus was aspecting Mars here. So we had this interaction during the civil war. How is it going to affect America? We'll see. I expect very, very interesting times for the United States, and that's early months of next year, when a number of planets, a parade of planets, will join Pluto here. That will make will they make quincunx? Yeah, they will start making quincunx to Venus of America, that's in the sector of partnerships. And it seems that this horoscope is fueling, actually, I've never focused too much on American horoscope, but it seems that America's might is built by building communication with partners. So they would be really relying on partners, and this Pluto can be very disruptive for partnerships of America, like United States. And even though that these two planets are going to, technically speaking, no, that's gonna be gone. So that's one of the most important days in America, in the United States history as we know it. And this point is going to create square to these grace of diplomacy around the world of Americans. So that's February 2026, and I did speak about this point. Get it back to one of my videos if you want. This is very, very interesting timing, and we had almost this conjunction a bit far away. And let's see, where is the 052, and the conjunction is going to happen in 042, let's say. So that's very close. That's very, very, very close. Yes, 19th, 20th of February 2026. And then Uranus is fueling the plutocracy in the sector of, let's say, banking and property in United States. Interesting days are ahead of us. Anyway, let's have a look at another horoscope. That's Cuba. Let's look at the Cuban horoscope. So I think that they had some sort of revolution with the interaction of Uranus before in Taurus. So I can't, because Uranus is gonna move to that area. Let me just go forward. It is going to aspect Sun again. So I would expect that they might have again some sort of demonstrations and stuff on the streets. That's even March next year, when Uranus first, while moving backwards. So that would be late. 1 second. So the sun of Cuba is 2814. 28. So that would be late December, where similar stuff can happen. So the roots of the existence of Cubans can get affected by a revolutionary thinking, let's say. But let's get back to the day of the big conjunction that we all are expecting, and that is going to and that's before Uranus will touch Sun for the last time, and that is going to fuel a harsh and harsh, disruptive, and non-harmonious aspect to the dreams that are very creative in the sector of creation and productivity of Cubans. Didn't that country suffer enough? So I would expect some sort of interaction in Cuba as well. So revolution that can be fueled by this dreams within the borders affecting the sector of productivity, the dreams within the sector of productivity of Cuba. So that's next year as well, February. And then Pluto, maybe later that year, 2027, is going to pass through ascendant of Cubans, and that is actually usually a rebirth of nation. If the nation does the lesson of closing and shutting down and destroying all the things that it doesn't need, then transits of Pluto are usually like a bulldozer, like a wrecking ball that are destroying the construct to make room for a new, better one. So that is going to, and Pluto is squaring natal. We do have exact time of Cuba, and is squaring the emotions in the sector of development that are being sent into future by the North Node. So yes, Cuba is going to expect interactions next year, and they are going to be quite disruptive and energetic. There are good aspects as well in this transit horoscope, but there is going to be loads of energy flowing through Cuban nation as well. I hope they'll be good. I like mostly everyone, but and you know, Cuba is Cuba. Let's have a look at Mexico. I've heard that there's like some sort of demonstration in Mexico right now. I'm trying to stay as far away from news as I can, but with what I do on YouTube, I just started reading some stuff online from time to time just to know the basic stuff that is going on. And this is interesting, because right now Pluto is sending, this is a tremendous amount of energy. If you're getting such a trine in your horoscope to your natal Jupiter, it gives you fuel and energy to work, fight, do whatever you want. And this energy is being sent to the exalted needs to development of Mexico. But the more important aspect in this case is that Uranus, when it will start moving forward, will make a direct conjunction with Mexico's Jupiter, together with Moon, Mercury, and then Sun in the same time. That's May 2026, more or less. These can be disruptive and very revolutionary times for Cubans. Like if someone had it in their horoscope, it can be like winning a lottery in the same time. But really expect unexpected. Expect revolution in the way. The needs to develop are revolutionized in that very moment. But let's get back to the big conjunction that is going to happen in February. Is it going to affect, and it is in a way going to harmoniously affect this very Jupiter of Mexico. Maybe this is going to be a breakthrough for Mexicans, like a leap forward, but in the same time I can see that the emotions that are still in the 8th sector, you can never be sure. There's like many schools regarding the houses in astrology, so I would have to know this horoscope pretty damn well to tell you whether the moon is in the 8th sector or in the 9th sector. But emotions that are quite solid in for Mexicans. Looking at this horoscope, am I looking at the horoscope of the Prime Minister of Mexico, Dolores Hidalgo, Mexico transit? Why does it say Dolores Hidalgo? Who is Dolores Hidalgo? Come on. Just give me 1 second. Dolores City. Oh, that's the place where Mexico was set up, maybe. Okay. So let's get back to the horoscope. So this, yes, they are going to have interest year as well. and hopefully, well, usually all the changes that are happening to all of us, sometimes even very brutal, they technically speaking are leading to something better at the end. So we'll get back to these horoscopes. I hope that I will have more time over Christmas to have a look at more nations and more horoscopes and shoot videos about it. Let's have a look at China right now. So and especially at the horoscope in 2026. And as you can see, while Saturn was affected, and it's not Saturn going to almost affect MC 2707 27. It's not gonna make the exact conjunction with this line if we have a proper horoscope for China, but I did speak about that in one of my previous videos, or all of them, that Pluto is going to affect emotions that are very deep, with Chinese in the 12th sector of mysticism, of hidden enemies, and the deepest understanding of world and underworld, and that is going to destroy their emotions. And to rebuild them, the whole transit, it will take a number of passes, and then Pluto is going to transit through the ascendant of China. That can be dramatic transit for a nation as well. I'm sorry, dry mouth. So China is going to transit like this, that is affecting both axes. Is going a very strong transit, and these are going to be interesting times for China as well. Get back to the video about China, but let's see what's going to happen in February. How is this conjunction going to affect China? And it is not going to affect China as such. This Uranus would give some sort of revolution regarding the roots, the place where China is coming from. And Pluto is going to destroy the emotions, to rebuild them, to restructure them, and destroy the public image of China as such. And maybe it will destroy the image of a poor country where people work for a $5 for a month to produce cheap goods. Then maybe these are the days and months and years ahead of us that will restructure the view people have regarding China from poor nation that makes only running sneakers to the most modern space age empire. We'll see. That's going to be interesting as well. Get back to the video about China that I made, and write me some comments if you are on you can't join chat. Hello. Chat seems to be fully operational. I don't know, maybe there was a problem with the internet connection in the meantime. But let's go to Israel now. I did make predictions for Israel before. Don't remember them, but now straight away I can see that the career of Israel is going to get elevated. And there was a very good video that I watched about one of the Vedic astrologers, and he made a video about Black Swan event. I will show you the frame from that video. You can watch it. He does have similar point of view regarding what's going to happen in the world. So but let's have a look at the horoscope of Israel, and we look at the end of signs and the beginning of signs. Is there anything going to get affected? So the first thing that is going to get affected is this line, so the career. Jupiter is going back. Oh, and this bloke from this Vedic astrology stuff, I know nothing about Vedic astrology, said that when Jupiter makes a big trine, or trine with Saturn in general, oh, I'm so sleepy, or a big trine, but it's in retro, it can bring some non-harmonious energy, even though it's a big trine, because well, in olden days people understood Jupiter as a bringer of joy, happiness, and in general growth and expansion, all good stuff. Yeah, the big benefic in the horoscope. I don't look at Jupiter like that. I do look at Jupiter as planet that expands, enlarges, and it does not care whether it's good or bad. But he says that if there is a big trine, Jupiter, Saturn, and some other planets, like here maybe Sun, but Jupiter is in retro, it means that all the benefits from Jupiter joining this trine are gone, and technically speaking Saturn is taking over, and Saturn understood as a malefic, so planet that does not bring good stuff but rather bad limitations, and I don't understand it like that, but in general they do astrology in a different way, the Vedic people, yeah. So that this big trine that we have in the sky right now can bring a black swan event right now. It can. And when I look at the horoscope of Israel, so this big water trine is focused on this axis here and this axis here, technically speaking, creating kite formation. How will it turn out? We don't know. Get back to one of my videos regarding Israel's predictions that I made a number of months ago. And Israel, that's January next year as well. So we'll have this parade of planets joining Pluto that is opposing emotions of Israel in the sector of career, together with these planets, and in the same time we are receiving a square from Neptune and Saturn to Jupiter of that will be gone, but the Mercury and Ceres, and the point the lot of fortune is going to affect square, so non-harmonious energy from this very point in the horoscope of Israel. Uranus is not going to get back to the to conjunct the sun of Israel, so situation like we had with the guerrilla war that happened with Palestinians does not look to me possible. And let's just move a bit forward and Pluto is going to quincunx Venus as well. So Israel, somehow there is going to be things in motion, especially with this Pluto opposing the emotions of Israel as a nation. But we'll get back to that country before April 2026, hopefully, for another analysis. So that's another transit. Iran. I don't know whether this horoscope of Iran works fine, because first of all it's very young, from the 70s, almost 80s, and so when you look at this horoscope right now, you see lots of trines, so uplifting stuff, yeah. But Uranus is going to affect the moon, so the emotions in the sector of health of Iran. But it seems that in the same time they are receiving sextile from the natal Jupiter, so that would be, technically speaking, good emotions and good revolutions happening in Iran. So that's one thing, and let's move to this February 2026, when we'll have this big conjunction. Is it going to affect anything anyhow? So that would be nope, not here. So, but this moment of Uranus passing through the moon backwards and forwards will send a number of revolutionary and heightened emotions through the sector of health of Iran. But in the same time, it's sending sextile to the ability of Iran to stick up for itself. So we'll see. I don't see too much interaction in that period of time for Iran. And hopefully I'll get back to Iranian horoscope over Christmas, because yeah. yes, we'll get back to it. And I think that Neptune is still at this moment, no, Neptune is still in Pisces, but Saturn is going to touch Iranian Mars. But from my point of view, this horoscope does not look tragic. It looks rather fine to me. For the time being, we'll get back to it. Okay, next horoscope. And they are two last ones. Pakistan and India we'll do some other time. I did videos about Pakistan and India, just get back to them. We'll do Romania, and I found two horoscopes for Romania. So one of them, because there had some sort of explosion or whatever in Romania, I don't know. I just read the headlines, so I thought to myself, okay, we'll have a look at the astrology. And okay, communication in the sector of career. So there was like some sort of oil tanker or something that was hit by a missile or a rocket or whatever in Romania. Saturn going backwards. Communication in the sector of career, non-harmonious aspect, and Mars getting through the sector of partners, but we don't have the exact no, I can't look at the sectors because we don't have the exact timing from 1862. So this is the only one that we can look at this moment. So retrograding Uranus, sending revolutionary energy to the communication of Romania. So that would fit the narrative. And there's another big thing, Neptune is conjuncting the natal Neptune, so lots of confusions. And in the same time, Saturn is going to pass through that position just days before, making this big conjunction. This is February 2026 as well. So that's gonna be interesting for Romania as well, as Mars is going to pass through the Romanian Sun, and Venus is gonna pass through the Romanian's Mercury in the same time. Mercury, a couple of days later, is going to go through Aries Proserpina as well. So I would expect loads of stuff going on in Romania as well. Looking at the old horoscope, and I don't know whether it works. I have no idea how is the Romanians history working with these horoscopes. I just punched them in a couple of minutes ago. I don't know. Transits for another one. That's the second last one, okay? And we will have sooner or later a transiting Pluto over Venus of the new horoscope of Romania from 1989, and it is going to pass through this Venus sooner or later next year, also 2027. So that is going to be an interaction that we will have a look at, and if this horoscope plays right, and let's see what this big conjunction from February next year is going to do. And it seems that it's going to square the ego of Romania, and that could be very confusing. And Pluto is going to be very close already to Venus, and is going to create quincunx in the communication sector where Jupiter is. If this horoscope works, I can't say that it does. I did not check it with, and it is extremely young. It's from 1989, so it's hard to confirm. I will test it hopefully in future. I cannot promise, but I will try. And at the same time, we are going to get this yard affecting this sector of Libra. So we are having quincunx from Uranus onto the emotions in the sector of partnerships of Romanians, and then quincunx to the partnership point of Romania. That's February 2026. So that country seems to have interesting interactions coming on anyway. And I wanted to have a look at Poland as well, because there was some sort of stuff going on in Poland as well, and I expect to make a big video regarding Poland sooner or later. Where do I have the horoscope of Poland? I have it here. and we'll have a look at progressions, because I did already have a look at the horoscope of Poland, and I have to say that it is quite interesting, especially where we have this retrograding so far. No, it's not retrograding anymore. Saturn, that plays really well with the partition of Poland that happened in the late 18th century, where Poland lost independence for 123 years or whatever, 150 years, and it is going to affect the placement of Sun of Polish horoscope, and I would expect it's gonna happen in the 30s, I think, in early 30s, in this Polish horoscope, so it can bring another limitations to the existence of Poland as a nation. So that's gonna be challenging and very difficult for Poland. And let's have a look at the transits in Polish horoscope. But in the same time, the career of Poland 22, 27, 22, 27. Okay, so the progress Jupiter already passed Venus. So that was I would say the latest years of Poland getting financial better and better. That's one of the best economy right now in the Europe, because maybe it's not the biggest, but one of the ones that is thriving so far. So these are the transits, and interestingly, the Saturn is very close to this first world point that will have this big conjunction in February next year. Saturn is going to pass through this point in a couple of months. That's gonna be interesting. And as you can see, this big yod is focusing here on the roots of Poland. That is going difficult, yeah? Very difficult. That is happening from now on. And let's see how this big conjunction is going to affect Poland and the setup while this big conjunction happens. So it is going to send non-harmonious energy, but not as intensive as it did before. And let's have a look. Is Pluto with these planets going to perform any interactions? It does. It is going to square the natal Sun, in the same time natal MC career Poland of that is in Aries, and the roots of Poland as well. So I would say they are challenging times regarding Poland as well. That Poland should expect challenging times, and then transiting Pluto in a couple of years. And Neptune is going to aspect Mercury. Yeah, I have to get a video about Poland done, because there is lots of interesting interaction that is going to happen. But when finally Neptune passes through this point, and that's 2028, but we'll have Pluto that will affect Polish emotions, and it can drive them insanely positive in the 30s, because that's the superpower Poland has. That's another one. They can get triggered and affected, and then Pluto is going to affect the point of partnerships with Poland. That's in 30 what, 5, 6, 34 to 36. Yeah, Poland is going to experience interesting times as well. And whatever horoscope I look at right now of a country, like, there's going to be like lots of energy flowing through that period of time, through next couple of months and years. And from my like personal point of view, what I can say, to me it looks like, I don't know whether you've ever seen this film Red Baron, about this a German pilot in the World War One, when at the beginning of World War One, they were fighting like gentlemen in the sky, most of them, and at the end of the world it was a total mayhem. Everyone was shooting at everyone, and the aerial battles were massive and very bloody. So it seems to me that all the stuff that is going on in the world is getting like it is just ramping up. This is just the beginning, and I want to show you this blog and that I've spoken about. That's him, and the video that he made is 2025 Black Swan Astrology, the event that will shock the world. Is there such an event coming right now? I don't know, but I can tell you that he speaks in a similar manner regarding the stuff that we have spoken already about, and his channel is called Astrologer. He has 700,000 subscribers, so you should not have any problems finding his channel. So my mic is moving. So that's it for today. You didn't write me any questions, viewers, but if you have questions, write them in the comments below and I will try to answer them, hopefully in the best possible way. You have to believe me that I work apart from shooting these videos, so I don't really have much time to do these videos, and but interesting times are coming, and they are coming sooner than anyone is expecting. So that's it for today, more or less. I wish you exceptional times. Use these energies the best way you can, and hopefully I will shoot more videos for you. So write me questions about what countries you want to see the horoscopes for, and you can write me dates and times for these countries if you have them. So that's it for today, and as I said before, loads of changes are coming. If you're driving a vehicle, try to have your tank full whenever you can. If you're taking any meds, try to have some extra on site in case of shortages. And as I said, 90% of population of the planet somehow is going to get affected. And watch the video by that blog from India, I think, or at least an Indian astrologer. That's it for today. See you next time.